Alright, we're talking about squids and also octopus. Alright, so you're probably wondering why squids and octopus? Well, I was just researching squids and octopus in my free time, as your average high schooler does, and I came across so many horrible facts about these creatures that they deserve their own video. The life of a squid or octopus is just terrible, or they don't deserve half of what they go through, and I need to cover that in a video, or else I will not be happy with myself. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so before we get to the big, cool, interesting species, let's just recap the generic squids. All squids have 8 arms and 2 tentacles. There is a difference between arms and tentacles. What is that difference? I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. They also have the large structure called a mantle, which is essentially what holds everything together. It's basically like the squid version of a torso. It's got all of their organs. They also contain their stupid, weird, stupid looking brain in there. I hate squid brains. It's 50% of the reason why I made this video. That's a terrible brain right there. They also have a siphon, which is that little tube that shoots them through the ocean like a little tortilla, like a torpedo. And that's also the hole where they ink out of. So yeah, that's your basic rundown of a squid. Weird, phallic looking, kind of intelligent. First up, Humboldt squid. I don't like this thing. This isn't good. This isn't right. All right, so these things are big, like too big, like 7 to 8 feet and 100 to 110 pounds. See, I just don't like those measurements. And it's not just because of the size, okay? It's what they do with it. They're basically the river otters of the ocean. They're way too big for their own good, way too aggressive, and they make it everyone's problem. They are hyper-aggressive predators that roll in gangs of not 10, no, not 50 either. No, not 100. Over 1,200 individuals. What the hell? Who said that could be a thing? Who let this happen? It is believed that they imply this essentially gang warfare in order to, yeah, get this, take down larger creatures and drag them to the bottom of the ocean. They're also known to be aggressive to divers on occasion and turn bright red when aggravated, giving them the nickname Red Devil. They use chromatophores in their skin, which are essentially like little color-changing skin cells. They're really cool, but that doesn't take from the fact that they're on a terrible, horrible, vile, unjust creature. Alright, so that is more than enough of that. Now let's go to the exact opposite of the Humboldt squid, the Dumbo octopus. Look at this thing. I love him with all of my heart. Now, not only are they just completely hilarious looking, everything they do is weird. Now let's talk about some of those things. So, unlike basically every other squid and octopus that have a siphon, and because they don't have a siphon, that also means that they can't have an ink sac, which basically means they're essentially just free calories to anything that is faster than them in the ocean. Not only that, they don't have a breeding season, which makes sense considering they're kind of just Walmart bags that are just adrift in the ocean and hope to bump into each other, so it makes sense. They also eat kind of like snakes. They just swallow their prey whole, which isn't that impressive considering they eat worms and shrimp and other tiny little things like that. They are also the deepest known octopus, living at depths of up to 13,000 feet deep, or about 4,000 meters. They also have a worldwide distribution, already being found in places like the Gulf of Mexico, Southeast Asia, and the Indian Ocean. It's just that we don't see them very often because they decided to live in the ass crack of the planet. Even though, on top of all this, they somehow have one of the longest lifespans for any octopus, up to 3 to 4 years. However, the same can't be said about our next animal, the common octopus. These guys were hoed by nature in every sense of the word. Not only do they have an average lifespan of, yeah, get this, 9 months to 1 year, with some occasionally living for over 2 years. But any octopus that makes it past really 3 years is just overachieving. Now, there are some species like the giant Pacific octopus and the Dumbo octopus that can live for up to 5 years max, but that's still really nothing in the grand scheme of everything. I mean, when you have sharks like this that are living for over 500 years at a time and not even maturing until 150 years, they're basically just a middle finger to the octopus. And the worst part is, nature decided to make them one of the most intelligent things in the ocean, giving them the ability of tool use and yet not even letting them make anything with it. And if you think about it, tool use is really kind of a garbage ability in the ocean, because what are you gonna do? Hit a shark on the head with a spear made out of coral and plastic? But for real, some octopus actually have been seen using panic rooms, which are just split in half coconuts that they carry and then slip into whenever they feel threatened. Speaking of slipping into things, look under your door. Look. Yeah, an octopus that weighs almost 300 pounds can fit under that. Just think about that the next time you're sleeping. Now, not only does the lifespan of an octopus suck, their mating is possibly the worst thing in their life. It's somewhat similar to tarantulas in the sense that the female will just kind of eat the male afterwards. Now, I know this seems like they would just get clapped by evolution, but if you think about it, it really makes sense. Because after reproducing, if the female gets a free meal, which unfortunately might have to be the male, then her babies have a much higher chance of surviving, considering she just got a free buffet, even if it was her fiancé. But no matter where their dad goes, whether it's in the stomach of their mother or out to get milk, the babies will not have any easier of a time. Considering a female octopus can lay up to 3,000 eggs at a time, she will be lucky if 3 of them survive. Not to adulthood, to hatch. Considering baby octopuses are essentially McDonald's French fries to everything in the ocean, all it really takes is one grouper to erase the entire octopus's bloodline. But how about if the male doesn't get eaten by the female? What happens to him still? Well, he still gets absolutely hoed by evolution, because every male octopus that you see is most likely a virgin. Because if they aren't, then they will be decrepit and dying. Because after they mate, they essentially just self-destruct. Why do they do this? Well, really, most scientists think it is to leave the baby octopus, which already have it hard enough, and not leave them with much more competition. I don't know, that might be it, but still seems kind of fishy. Now, how about the female? Does she have it any easier? Because it's not like she's getting eaten. Yeah, she can. Considering she won't eat or move essentially anywhere while she is protecting her babies, then she usually dies of starvation right as they're hatching, which, again, in the twisted life cycle of an octopus, is somehow a good thing, because it gives the babies a free meal right as they hatch. God, nature is messed up. Okay, this video is getting kind of long. One more species. No, I take that back. 2 more species. Okay, first up, the giant squid. Which giant squid? This one, because there's like 5 different giant squids that all have the same common name, but they have scientific names. Thank God for taxonomists. Should we make a video on taxonomy? Okay, so let's go over what little we know about this giant phallic sea. Okay, so wait, which giant squid were we talking about? Oh, okay. This is Archaeotus, or the giant squid. Yeah. It is the longest known squid, not longest known invertebrate though, because that goes to this thing, which is a siphonophore. Well, it might be the siphonophore because it also may be this worm that was just too squishy to measure. So scientists just kind of estimated it at about 160 feet. Okay, enough about worms and siphonophores. Let's talk about squids. So the Archaeotus giant squid is the holder of the 2nd largest eye in the animal kingdom, second only to, hold on, we're not there yet. And the first ever one was discovered by its tentacles, which were found in the stomach of a sperm whale, because hunting sperm whales used to give you a shit ton of money, so everyone was doing it. And then we kind of found out that there was giant calamari creatures living in the ocean, and we were like, huh. There was also this one sperm whale that was cut open and had, I believe, somewhere around 4,000 giant squid beaks just inside of it, just chilling in there. Do you think maybe that's why we don't ever see any giant or colossal squids? Because the sperm whales are just having mukbangs down there? Honestly, though, how bad do you have to be at what you do to literally evolve over millions of years to live at the bottom of the ocean just to get regularly squad wiped by an air breathing mammal? I know I said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. It just doesn't make sense. Like, squids deserve to go extinct at this point after what's happened to them. Not octopus though. Octopus already go through way too much, but the squids deserve every bit of what happens to them, especially these fuckers. Mm-mm. All right, so second species, colossal squid. I like to think when the scientists first discovered the colossal squid, they were like, well, we got the giant squid. So what do we do with this? And then they just started flipping through a dictionary for words bigger than giant. Okay, anyways, colossal squids are, as I promised I would tell you, the holder of the largest eyeball in the entire animal kingdom, the size of a large pizza. Also, this animal was the main antagonist in my favorite ever episode of Wildcrats, and the show Wildcrats literally raised me. So this was a very influential part. Also, this whole episode was kind of the reason why I included giant and colossal squids, not because they're the only types of squids people care about. Okay, definitely not that. Colossal squid are also one of two main prey items for the sperm whale. Yep, we're talking about sperm whale again in a video about squids because that's just how sperm whales are. The majority of sperm whales that you will ever see ever have tons of scars on the front of their head because of the injuries caused by colossal squids. Well, how do they do this? It's no way they're doing all that damage just with their beak, because the tentacles of colossal squids, yeah, that's right, not the arms, the tentacles, they're very different, okay? The difference being, you can see these ones are longer and they protrude out of the middle of the body. The arms are shorter, thicker, and sort of come out of the edge. Kind of like a cursed skirt of limbs. So the tentacles, and arms also, are lined with hooks that are on a swivel, which is terrifying. There's no reason that this creature should be engineered this well. I don't like it. We've only ever seen like a couple alive, and I believe that this is one of, if not the only video of a live colossal squid ever, which is really weird for it to be this close to the surface, but you also have to remember that this is a juvenile. Juvenile colossal and giant squid tend to stay closer to the surface, but once they mature, they go down into the depths of hell where they need to stay, which is the exact same place that our final squid inhabits. But before we talk about that, let's get the final things that we know about the colossal squid out of the way. So, fortunately, you will not ever encounter one when you're swimming, let's say in the Southern Pacific or Atlantic, where most tourist swim beach places are. Unless you're into swimming around the Southern Ocean, aka the ocean surrounding the Atlantic, then you might see one if you just happen to be scuba diving, oh, I don't know, 14,000 feet below the surface, but I don't know. I think that's a little bit above the world record if I had to guess. Basically, you'll never see one in the wild unless you're these people. I still don't know how they managed to get this video. I don't understand how lucky someone can be, but also unlucky. Can you imagine having no idea what a squid is? Like, not even a giant squid, just a squid in general. And then this thing just pulls up to the side of your boat, just like, hey. Oh, what the fuck? What is that? What the heck? What is that? Bitch. Man, I'm going back down. This is why I stay in the bottom of the ocean. I guarantee you that's how every Kraken story went, except the sailors just made up the shipwrecking part for dramatic effect because they wanted clout. What was I talking about? Colossal squid life. So, they kind of live around the Arctic Circle where basically nothing is supposed to live. I'm pretty sure they were just sent there by God to attend for their crimes, because just making someone look at you when you look like this is a war crime. So yeah, like I said, just kind of acknowledging the fact that it exists, because we really don't know anything about this thing. All that I know is that It lives at the very bottom of the ocean and it needs to stay there because I don't want to look at this thing any longer than I have to. I know I said that squid don't deserve what octopus go through. That was a generalization, okay? There are a few squids that most certainly deserve everything that octopus go through times 10, and this is one of them. Well, I mean, I guess that kind of only applies when they're filmed with a garbage, grainy, analog horror-esque camera. I mean, this one almost looks cute. I don't know. Dana octopus squids and Dumbo octopus will always be better.